in that second half compared to the first half. Did you see it in spurts? Was it just not able to put it together for the full second half?
Our defensive energy was definitely better in the second half. We still had some breakdowns and some certain plays and some key moments that were unfortunate, but our energy was better. Our defensive connectivity was better. We just didn't capitalize on it probably as much as we should have on the offensive end. But credit to them, they came out and played a good game.
When you have a player, obviously they're down some stars, but then you have a player like Bobby who has that type of game. Is it one of those things where you try to slow him down, but it just seems like you want a heater and nothing can really be missed by him?
He made some tough shots early. I didn't think we had the necessary physicality to make him miss. And then once he got going, we really never had much effect on him the rest of the game. But that was probably a little bit not the necessary force at the beginning to make him feel uncomfortable. But credit to him, he made some tough shots too.
A low assist game for you all, especially with the way that you had been sharing the basketball as of late. Was there something that just was off with that, or is it just a part of that is shots also not falling?
No, because we got stuck a little bit playing on one side. We didn't have as much ball movement as we had been. Credit to their defense a little bit, but we didn't keep searching out better shots. That affected us definitely in the second quarter when they went on their run, and that really turned the game right there. Got to be more consistent with that for sure.
What do you think went into, I think it was like 11 straight missed shots when they went on that second quarter run? What do you think went into that drought there?
Just a little bit of lack of ball movement. Probably some of them we probably could have made too. There were probably some makeable ones. That always is the case, but like a little bit stagnant. Probably not as much paint touch, drive and kick that we've been playing with. Probably not enough kick aheads early in action because we were getting some stops a little bit. But we got a little too stagnant tonight for sure, and that hurt us tonight.
And then Khris Middleton goes on that third quarter run by himself. How tough was that? You guys cut it to single digits, and then he comes back and.
That was some of our we have been playing okay defense, but we had some miscommunications, not great talking, not executing the game plan, and when good players you don't execute, they're going to make those shots.
Bilal and Jordan, obviously a good offensive game for them. What did you see with the way that they were able to kind of get things going for themselves at the minimum?
Jordan hit some tough shots that kept us going. Obviously, he was very hot in the first quarter, and then Bilal is just, his activity actually picked up as the game went on, was able to attack, get out in transition, get on the rim. We made a good fight there at the end to kind of cut it as much as we could. That's why I kept that group in there. I thought they had some good energy, but it wasn't enough.
And I know you talk about the work that gets put in behind the scenes, especially with a guy like Bilal playing on both ends of the floor. But seeing him now continue to trend in that right direction, picking it up defensively but also offensively, how tough can that actually be on a consistent, nightly basis? But he's, in a weird way, making it kind of look easy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge to do those type of things. Credit to him. There's a physical stamina, there's also a mental stamina. I don't people get enough credit for that, to be able to stay focused, locked in, and then have the energy to do it on both ends. Pretty impressive. He's growing with that. Not there yet for sure, but he's making strides, and that's what we want to see out of him.
With Jordan, the first quarter was obviously electric. Did something change in how they were defending him afterward, or what do you think kind of made him slow down?
I think we got stagnant. I think our ball movement got slow, and we got slowed down, and they put their hands on us, and when you do that, you're not going to get great shots. He hit some tough ones in the first for sure, but we were playing with a little bit more ball movement. I thought our ball movement got stagnant. That affected our overall offense in general.
Is it frustrating you guys come off that Charlotte win and you're playing a Milwaukee team that's without its top two players to not be able to, make it a little bit closer?
We don't look at that like that. I mean, this is the NBA. There's guys out all the time. You come play and who the guys are available. It was more just our own style of play. Give them credit. They played well, but we didn't play up to what we've been doing lately. For parts of the game, we just weren't consistent with it.
Obviously, not the result, but defensively, we're able to get 5 blocks as a team. In games where the defense isn't perfect, but you do have spurts where you show those glimpses, does that show you that the things you're working on a daily basis are beginning to start to build? It's just putting it together for multiple spurts, multiple minutes, eventually multiple games? We
ended up having to play a decent defensive rating in the game. We just didn't have it in the first half. We made them miss in the second half. Our physicality, we were blocking shots, we were more active. They hurt us on the boards again. A little bit of hustle plays in that first half. We got to clean up that stuff, but we're starting to show some growth in our defensive end for sure. You can see it, but you got to be more consistent. You got to have that travel, because those are the things that are going to keep you in the games when your offense sometimes sputters or isn't making shots. Your defense can carry. So we got to keep growing, but it has grown in the last couple of weeks for sure.
There were a couple of times where Keyshawn picked up fouls and seemed pretty frustrated after. What do you think that process is like for him to try and learn to defend without fouling?
Just move on to the next play. That's it. That's all we always talk about. Do the next right thing. That's what mental toughness is, and he's fine. These are all things that happen in a game. People can show frustration quickly, but he shows the ability to move on to the next play quick. So I'm not worried about him at all.
Thank you.
What is it like for you to play in your hometown?
I love it. It's really dope being in the Eastern Conference now because we get to play them 3 times a year. Like this year, we're lucky enough to play them twice at home. So it's always really special. The city always shows love. A lot of people that I grew up with or played with growing up normally come out. I get to see family, so really special experience.
Around how many people would you say that you were here tonight?
Ooh, tonight, it's probably like 40 a game.
Okay.
Whenever we play 40 people. It's a lot of people that I probably can't get to every time, but I try to do as good a job as I can.
When you look at your offense and you have it going that quickly, especially in the first quarter, how do you then balance out continuing to look for your shot but also making sure you're getting guys involved?
Still got to be aggressive. I think today I started off really hot and then tried to get my teammates involved a little bit, kind of slowed it down. Still try to, it's kind of my responsibility to get guys good looks anyway by being aggressive, but just got to balance it whenever I get going early, just try to maintain that, but also try to give my guys easy looks because if it becomes a close game at the end, I'm going to need guys to, make shots.
Did they change the looks that you were getting in the last 3 quarters after the hot first quarter that you had?
Yeah, they started off in a heavy drop with Brooke, and then I want to say that they kind of flipped the minutes with Brooke and Bobby. They put Bobby out there when I was out there instead of Brooke, so he was more 1 through 5 switch. Or when I was with Brooke, they brought him up for kind of like we call it like a volume 2, where they press up a little bit, so it wasn't as much of a look. It was more so try to hit the pocket, but definitely different coverage in the last couple quarters. Just got to figure out a way to combat that a little bit.
What are the ways that, trying to learn from this game that you wish you had combated it a little bit differently?
I don't know, probably hitting the pocket a little bit more. We had shake behinds, but the way that they guard is they funnel everything to the paint, and they want you to shoot tough twos or get all the way to the basket. I probably got to watch film.